In physical actor training, it's important that we're not just thinking about body work, we're also thinking about the voice. So begin with the body, but then embellish this by moving into the voice. So you might start with openness, building resonance, and then taking this into voice work or text work. And then you can start to play with different kinds of texts.
So the important thing is that I establish, first of all, the movement, and then the text, which is a classical bit of text from Macbeth soliloquy. I'm just going to add it to the movement, and that's important, that the movement begins and then the text is going to be added on. So just as now I'm talking and all I'm doing is being informed the way I'm speaking tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this prophetic pace from day to day until the last syllable of recorded time. Tuesday. Yeah, and let the sound. You change that, make it more flowing now rather than broken.
I kept finding it very interesting how we were working with the impulses, and we had this scarecrow exercise where the impulses were in the pelvis, and then this would then come out of as text, and how you use text in terms of impulses instead of just speaking the text for the sole purpose of just speaking it. So there's another layer to it, which I really enjoy.
Kind of like the words, instead of saying, kind of like falling out, coming out.
Yeah. So that was making a bit staccato.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's nice.
But
That's
also with the
something
flowy as well.
Yeah.
It was coming from down here and up.
So use that openness that you found as a performer, begin to create resonance, and then start to work with sound, the sonic aspect of your body, but also the sonic aspect of the space, moving the voice around the space, but also beginning to work from vibration into text. So you move into sounding and playing with text, starting with the body and then adding the voice.
What's important is contact in the upper back. And because you can't see the other person, you have to get the timing right. So don't go too fast, and find a really firm contact that pushes the sound out.
Let's not get too much over. Yes, it's quite forceful, pushing the sound out. And this is a really strong part of the body, so you can enjoy this, can't you, Mara?
You have to be released and let the sound come out. Here you can see Mara a bit surprised by what is happening, but making firm contact which is strong. And what's really important, as with Noof here, you can see it's a bit forced. She's creating the sound rather than Hannah creating the sound in her.
An extra element, which is you can be doing the back, but then you can go back to front or front to back. Okay? So using this side and then back.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
One way to start your vocal work is to warm up the vocal apparatus, and this includes also warming up the facial muscles. Here you can see the trainees exercising by stretching the lips. You can start by pouting, pushing and pressing the lips out, including the action of kissing. try also a kind of inverse kiss, where it starts from the inside, moving the lips from the inside out. Here you can see me puffing out my cheeks and therefore stretching the cheeks. You can experiment with different ways of producing sound. You can tense the lips, or you can tense around the lips and flapping, therefore, the lips. All these create different sounds. So not only are you stretching the vocal apparatus, the facial muscles, but you are also generating new textures and qualities of the voice. The next step would be to experiment and try out different vowels. It is important not to reduce vocal work to the vocal apparatus. Try to embody the vowels. Here you can see me embodying the vowel O and then the vowel E. O comes with a quality of openness and E with a quality of vertical stretching. Massage your face to help you warm up the face. In a sense, what we are doing here is working on syllables. These syllables will eventually lead to words, words to phrases, and phrases to text. So what we are doing here is deconstructing a text in terms of its component elements, the consonants, the vowels, the syllables, and the words. So you can see me here experimenting with the consonant and the vowels B-R-E. There are different ways of working and exercising these syllables. Here we have the exercise of projection. Put your fingers very close to your lips and address them as if there was somebody's ear there. And use that intention. Move your hands away from you and address your hands. Address your fingers. Notice the different quality. You are not simply projecting the voice, but you are also projecting the intention of what you want to say. Likewise here, you can either address somebody directly by saying something, or else you can use the design, you can apply the design of an arc by saying something such as ba, instead of saying ba, ba. Repeating the syllables is the equivalent of articulating words. Very primitive and basic words, but ba 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 could constitute a word. The trainees here have started the process of coloring their syllables, that is, applying different images to the way that they say a text, to the way that they say a syllable or a word or a phrase. Here the image is of somebody crying. And it's important at this stage not to work on emotions, but to work on the actions of crying. Here we have the action of throwing, the action of addressing your fingers very close to your lips. And notice how the trainees are embodying what they're saying. This is another dynamic to try. Imagine that somebody is pinching you. This particular exercise works specifically on impulse, the impulse of saying something.
Pinch, pinch, pinch. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. But you like this person who pinches you, and you want to be pinched again, so it's hey. Hey. Oh. Oh. Hey. Hey.
The next step in the process would be to work on a nonsense text. After working on the consonants, the vowels, and the syllables, here you can see the trainees working on a nonsense text. I chose and designed 3 specific words, Kalimana, Helsinki, Dokatra, that do not mean anything in particular. I chose them because of the particular configurations of consonants and vowels. The process is once again to deconstruct the text by speeding it up, slowing it down, breaking it up in different consonants.
Kalimana, Helsinki, Dokatra. Kalimana, Helsinki, Dokatra. Kalimana, Helsinki, Dokatra. Helsinki. Helsinki. Kalimana. Kalimana.
The task is to defamiliarize it, with the intention of bringing it together again later on.
Helsinki. 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 Kalimana, Helsinki.
Notice the rhythmic quality not only in the voice and the enunciation of the text, but also in the body. Here you can see a fun way of defamiliarizing the word Kalimana. Here I'm breaking it up into the first syllable, ka, reminds me of a car. Li reminds me of Bruce Lee. And ma reminds me of Mother Ma.
Kalimana. Kalimana. Kalimana, Helsinki. Kalimana, Helsinki.
Working with images is very useful because it colors our text, just as it colors our movement in the space. Try out different textures and qualities that you would have explored earlier on. For example, you can whisper the text, you can throw the text, you can pinch the text, you can leap the text.
He lives down the road. His name is Lipio.
The final stage of the process is to work on a text. The trainees are working on a text by the French philosopher René Descartes. In this stage, we experiment and try out all the different elements that we would have worked before earlier on. This includes articulating the consonants and the vowels, using the different images, such as pinching the text, projecting the text, direct the text, use images such as crying or feeling cold. This process enables you then to bring the text back again in its entirety and experiment with it.
The sweetness of the honey it contained.
The sweetness of the honey it contained.
Take, for example, this piece of wax.
Take, for example, this piece of wax.
It is quite fresh, having been but recently taken from the beehive.
It is quite fresh, having been but recently taken from the beehive.
It has not yet lost the sweetness of the honey it contained.
It has not yet lost the sweetness of the honey it contained.
Take, for example, this piece of wax. It is quite fresh, having been but recently taken from the beehive. It has not yet lost the sweetness of the honey it contained. It still retains somewhat of the odor of the flowers. Odor of the flowers.
Odor of the flowers.
Take, for example, this piece of wax.
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 It is quite fresh, having been but recently taken from the beehive.